Hey everybody, so I kind of want to do an off the top of the dome type video to where I just wanted to show off a couple of VHS tapes I got and a couple of cassettes and a CD. So I mentioned physical media and my love for it in a lot of videos on the channel already. Like I feel like ever since like in the past like few months I've been mentioning a lot. So I love it. I love like VHS, CDs, DVDs, cassettes, all those type of things. So I got a lot. I got 7 VHS tapes. Actually, that might be not very much for some people. But so there was this place I went to that I still go to that has a quarter per VHS tape, and that's actually where I got my Space Jam VHS tape from, and I got that signed by Billy West, if you guys didn't see it in the last video. But yeah, so I was going to that place for a long time, and today I actually went to a thrift store that I normally don't go to because I'm not really on that side of town often. So they have really good deals for these VHS tapes, and cassettes and all that stuff too. So for this deal, it was kind of like a combo sale. It was 5 for $2, which that is like, I can't believe how cheap VHS tapes are. I mean, I know there are some people who sell them, like overcharge them on Facebook Marketplace and stuff, but I have considered maybe buying VHSs from like eBay and stuff, but they're too, I mean, they're still not bad for movies, but it's just like the cheapest prices are in their stores and stuff. So kind of want to talk about a couple of these. So actually all of them. So the first one I have is 5 Goes West. So I love this movie, or the last time I've seen it was almost 10 years ago now. When I saw this, just a nostalgia wave just hit me, because I actually grew up with this version more than the original movie. And it's kind of funny because like this movie, I remember this movie being kind of a fever dream. Like it's actually, some people say the original American Tail is, but sometimes with Don Bluth movies, like they're just kind of like weird and hazy, if that's how I describe it. Like it's just kind of weird on what was going on. Yeah, so I got this, and this was a blast from the past, because like I haven't seen this in a long 10 years at least. Like I remember the last time I saw it, maybe I was like 7. Yeah, I just sometimes I am a little bit scared to like revisit movies because they might be bad. Like if I look back at the childhood memories, kind of like what The Nuttiest Nutcracker was. But yeah, so I really like this. I found it, so I'm gonna watch that soon. I really want to see if it still holds up. And then I got this is kind of just like I just screw it, I'll just get it. This is Daffy Duck. So this is basically 4 Looney Tunes cartoons, and yeah, so it's just a couple. I don't know almost any of these though. Actually, I might know Falling Hair from Bugs Bunny, but I mean it's only 30 minutes long, so I could just watch it when I have nothing else to do. Yeah, so I saw this and I was like, I like Looney Tunes. Like I think I'm starting to like the Looney Tunes world more than Mickey Mouse and Disney, because I've mentioned in the Mickey Mouse Public Domain video that the Mickey Mouse character is so boring most of the time. And even though I don't like the horror movies and stuff that they're doing, like at least it's something different, because Mickey is such a protected brand and he's not even that interesting of a character. So I feel like Daffy Duck and all those people are a lot more interesting. So it's kind of cool to get. I actually think, yeah, this is the first Looney Tunes VHS I've ever owned, which I love these. Actually, no, other than Space Jam. Why did I think that? But yeah, so yeah, I really like these type of shorts. And then I kind of want to include these as like kind of like a 2-in-1. So I got Home Alone and Home Alone 2: Lost in New York. So I saw these, or I actually saw the first one. It's a little loose on the top, but I actually saw the first one, or like in stock, and I'm like, okay, like I was gonna get this originally, and then I saw this one. I was like, I had to get them both. So Home Alone is kind of sad, because when I watched this movie, it was when I was in the psych ward. So it was bad hell, the closest place to hell in the entire history of the earth. But this was a movie I watched, And I watched a whole bunch of, because I was there during, like, not during Christmas, but like a week or two before Christmas. and they had movies like these, but most of them sucked. Like, they showed us Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, the Johnny Depp one, which I don't like, and they showed us the freaking Grinch, the freaking Jim Carrey version. I know some people like that performance. I hate that movie. It's something about it just feels nauseating. Like, I mean, at least with Cat in the Hat, which I absolutely hate that movie even worse. With the Mike Myers, at least it's a little bit more kind of feels like Dr. Seuss. But, oh my god, I don't want to go on a whole nother rant, but the Grinch from the 2000 movie is just horrible. So, yeah, so they showed us this, and back then I haven't seen Home Alone, like, in its entirety, and I love this movie. It's so good. Like, I mean, yeah, like, this one's good too. Actually, I haven't seen this one in a while. Lost in New York. I mean, this is kind of the same thing, but I kind of think it's a little different because, like, I kind of like, because with this one, they couldn't recreate it again. Like, I mean, they've tried multiple times with trying to recapture the story of Kevin McAllister with Macaulay Culkin. They can't. Like, they just, and also with, like, Disney doing that, Home Sweet Home Alone or something like that. That was horrible. So, no one can replace this. The only thing that I could see kind of working is, because Macaulay Culkin is healthy now, as we know, but back like 10 years ago, he was hella on drugs. But, like, I feel like now that he's sober and he's a lot more healthy now, yeah, I mean, I know that the actor Marv is not, I don't think he's alive anymore, but Joe Pesci, I feel like this could work if they really wanted to do a reboot, or kind of like a ignoring all of 3, 4, and 5 and Sweet Home Alone, all that. I feel like if they really wanted to, they can make this again. They would have to pay Macaulay Culkin. Well, actually, I think Macaulay Culkin would do it. But I love this movie. Like, it's such a good Christmas movie. Like, and Christmas movies, and also with Christmas music too, I'm so mixed on. Like, sometimes they're really good and it's like this, and sometimes it's like The Grinch from Jim Carrey. I mean, I love Jim Carrey, but not that version. But yeah, so I got this, but here's the thing that's a little annoying about these tapes. So, I know that, like, back in the 90s, like, they really wanted to enforce rewinding the tape. But look at this. It is so excessive. Look at all those stickers. Like, okay, 50-cent charge? That's kind of a lot back then. Oh, actually, this was the original has this. I don't think this one does. This is from a Hobson video. Wait, that's not. Wait, is Home Alone PG-13? That can't be right. Yeah, that's not right. No, that's not right at all. PG-13 is not Home Alone. I don't know why that's on there. But yeah, so it's so ridiculous on how many stickers they put on there. I mean, I know it was the 90s, but actually, from people that I know who work in video stores, or Blockbuster and stuff, it wasn't really that pain in the ass to actually rewind them. Like, I know it's kind of like the be kind rewind, like that kind of slogan, but I don't know. And it's a little annoying too, because I tried taking the sticker off from the parental guidance to, like, the show or movie's rating. It starts ripping the cover, so I'd have to leave it on, unless if I do, like, a hairdryer or something. But yeah, so other than that, I love these two movies, mainly the first one, but I don't mind the second one. So I just had to get those together, because they're kind of like, that's kind of how it is. So yeah, so another movie that I got is, oh god, I didn't think I would get this one, but yeah, so Shrek. I got Shrek. So I really like, Shrek has always been, like, I grew up with it on DVD. I don't think I've ever watched Shrek on VHS. It's just, I love Shrek. Like, I mean, yeah, there's some stuff that's aged a little bit, like, the animation is hasn't aged that well. But I still think it's really good. Like, I mean, like, this was when, like, I think Monsters, Inc. came out the same year. Didn't this earn the Best Picture from the Oscars? Did it? I don't remember if it did, but it was like, I think something won this over Monsters Inc. And yeah, so Shrek, I love Shrek, even though the animation's a little age bad, but it's been 20 years, so that was like the early stages of like 3D animation. So I mean, that's when like kind of like DreamWorks, well actually no, they had a couple animated films in 2D before this, but this was really when they hit the 3D, like doing movies in 3D. So yeah, this one's pretty good, and I really like it. And then I'm actually gonna save the weirdest one for last. So I have two left. So Tom Cruise, Mission Impossible. I actually have not seen this. I haven't seen any of the Mission Impossible movies, and I heard that this is probably one of the most consistent movies, like series or franchises ever. Like pretty much everyone says that almost all of them are great. Like, and yeah, Tom Cruise is a wacko. He's weird, but I mean, like, he's such a good actor. Like, I mean, I know some people will deny because of his Scientology connections and stuff, but I'm like, when you actually take a look at his performance and what he's doing in these movies, like, normally I don't really like the phrase separate the art from the artist because people excuse people like Kanye, but Tom Cruise, I feel like there's kind of a case in this, because even though he's a really wacko dude, he's very weird, it's just the fact that he's almost 60 years old now and still doing these movies and able to freaking drive a bicycle or a bike off of a cliff, and he did it like 6 times, which I don't know if that's like that Scientology blood getting to him or what that is, but it's really, I mean, I can't help but like the guy. Like, I mean, yeah, I know people say he's a Scientology wacko, which he is. But did he leave Scientology? I'm not sure if he did. But, I mean, I haven't heard anything for that in a while. But yeah, so this is something I really want to see because I heard pretty much all the movies are great. So yeah, I'm excited to see that. And then the last VHS, so I haven't thought of this movie in a long time, and when I saw it, I was like, this is such a weird movie from what I remember that I had to get it. All Dogs Go to Heaven. So, this is another Don Bluth thing. So, Don Bluth, I love pretty much all of his movies. I mean, some of the later stuff like Rockadoodle and Pebble and the Penguin weren't that great. Or Troll Central Park. But his earlier stuff, I love. Like the Dragon's Lair games, I love those games. I mean, they're not really movies. I mean, if you see it in a certain way. Like, I love Land Before Time. I love Secret of NIMH is such a good movie. I need to own that on VHS. I hope I can find it. I might actually need to buy that. I love that movie. But, like, this one is a roller coaster. So, I remember Don Bluth saying something like, I think it was something along the lines of, like, as long as the movie has an anime movie has a happy ending, you can see or you can show kids anything that you want, which I don't entirely agree, but this is a perfect example of that, because when you look at a movie like this, it could not be made today. Like, it's because people are so butthurt and like they get so traumatized easily on anything. Like, I'm surprised cancel culture hasn't gone through this, because I mean, I heard this movie's pretty good, but man, is it sad. Like, I heard a lot of people were cried about it, and I can see why, because I've seen some clips. I'm like, man, this was like, I can see what he was doing, because like he wanted to kind of prove that argument, saying that, oh, like, you could show anything you want as long as it has a happy ending. But yeah, this is like, I want to see this myself, because I actually haven't seen. I've seen a little bit, but like, it's kind of like those weird Don Bluth movies with, like, especially Rockadoodle. Rockadoodle is the craziest example of a fever dream movie, because I grew up with that movie a lot more than this one. But yeah, so I don't know how to feel if I watch this. So that's actually kind of cool. And this is also one that I actually don't see very often with all the kids movies, because they had a ton of kids movies, like all the Disney, like every time I go to a thrift store or something like that, there's gonna be Disney VHSs, like almost 100% of the time, and they had those, but this was a little bit in the deeper part of the shelf, and I managed to find it. And actually, this was brand new, kind of. So it still had the plastic on it, and I took it off, and that's why this condition is so good. So I think this is actually, yeah, compared to the other ones, like the condition is way better. This is actually almost as good condition as my Indiana Jones ones. Sorry, I added a bit of a jump cut because my camera was glitching out for some reason. But yeah, so I got a couple of cassettes and a CD. So I'm trying to wrap this up because it's a longer video than I wanted it to be. But yeah, so I got Diana Ross, Make Your Spirits Bright, and this, I don't know why I got this because it's not Christmas anymore. But sometimes I do kind of like listening to Christmas music even though it's not even close to Christmas. I mean, it kind of felt like Christmas because yesterday we had like a lot of snow. But yeah, so I got a couple cassettes. I got this one. And some of these songs I know and some of them I don't even know what they are. Like Go Town on the Mountain and Precious Joy, The First Noel. Like I haven't heard most of these. But like the most ones that I know are like the more kind of like mainstream ones. But yeah, so I got this, and the thing is with these cassettes and CDs is that with the cassettes and CDs, if you get 10, it'll only be $2. Which that even with CDs, like I mean CDs are a little bit more expensive than cassettes, but that's really good for CDs especially because I mean they didn't have the best selection of CDs and cassettes there, but it was a gold mine. So. And this whole haul has been generally. So, yeah, so I got Christmas, Diana Ross, and then I got this one. This was a top 10 of classical music. Now, classical music, I don't get the hate of it. Now, some people say it kind of has aged a little bit because you could tell, like, it was classical music. But, an example that I like to use when people say, oh, it sounds dated, is The Planets by Gustav Holst. Like that whole series of movements still sounds like a soundtrack you would hear today. Like, and I've used it in a video with Mars. But yeah, so that's my defense on it, is that there's a lot of classical music that still sounds great, and I feel like this will sound good too. And I kind of wish I had a little bit more artwork, but that's fine. Like, I mean, I usually like having artwork, but this is one of the times, like, even with classical music, I'm just like, I don't need it for this. So, yeah, there it is. And then here's the last one. So, I didn't get almost any CDs except one, because there wasn't really anything that I wanted, mainly country. But yeah, so I got Big Band Fever. Now, I mentioned in the Garage Haul video that I am really starting to like the big band sound, like, from, like, the 30s and all that type of, like, the type of jazz. But like, it's just like big band, like those two words put together, I had to get this. And I actually haven't listened to it yet, but it seems like, especially with the trumpets and all that coming out, it has to be what I like. So this was very cheap. So yeah, so I just love the big band sound. Like it's so great. Like I don't know. I'm really liking that sound. I've been listening to a lot of my cassettes, and my god, it sounds so good. So yeah, so sorry this video is a little longer than I want it to be, but just kind of want to talk about my haul that I got. So yeah, see you guys in the next video. I'm sorry video uploads have not been great. Like, I mean, I've been posting in a couple days, but yeah, so I'll be posting videos up again soon. So yeah, see you guys later.